Okay, so we're talking about Buzz Lightyear. Okay, the movie has been pretty much controversial. Okay, perhaps calling critics of a movie idiots. Okay, I'll start from the top here. All right, so Disney's Lightyear flops at box office following Chris Evans' comment on same-sex kissing. Perhaps calling critics of a movie idiots who are going to die off like the dinosaurs wasn't the best strategy to get families to watch the latest entry into the Toy Story franchise. You see, this is what this alphabet agenda, forgot to understand, that this is a kids movie, but they don't care because they're influenced by their father, the devil, and want to just push this stuff in front of children, forgetting that children, have parents, and parents do not want their children exposed to this degenerate lifestyle. Okay? Trial and error. After being marooned on a hostile planet, Buzz Lightyear, voice of Chris Evans, attempts multiple test flights in an effort to recreate the complicated fuel required to reach hyperspeed so he and the whole crew can return to Earth. Directed by Angus MacLane, co-director Finding Dory, and produced by Galen Suzman. Toy Story: That Time Forgot. Disney and Pixar's Lightyear opened in U.S. theaters on June 17th, 2022. Disney's latest film, Lightyear, made its way to theaters this weekend, and the result can only be described as disappointing. Spin-off film from Pixar's Toy Story universe fell short of insider projections in its box office debut, collecting a lackluster $51 million at a domestic box office from the 4,255 North American theaters and only $84 million from the worldwide box office. Well, that's what happens because it was also banned in a lot of countries. Okay? That's another thing too. As soon as you had that same-sex scene, a lot of countries banned it. The film failed to dethrone Jurassic World Dominion, which brought in $58.6 million in its second weekend at the box office earlier this weekend. Some insiders expected Disney film to generate at least $80 million domestically, but after disappointing Thursday preview night, those projections plummeted to $60 million, and by Saturday, it settled in at $51 million from North America. All right. The result is considered a major drop-off from Toy Story 4, which did $120 million in its opening weekend in the U.S. back in 2019. That film went to gross over $1 billion wide. Both Toy Story 4 and Lightyear have identical production budgets of $200 million. Toy Story 4 break-even mark was estimated at $700 million after production budgets, marketing, and talented participation. If Lightyear's break-even is around $500 to $600 million, then the film could end up being a major money pit for Disney and Pixar. A multitude of self-inflicted errors did not sell Lightyear to the masses. First, Disney replaced the iconic actor Tim Allen as the legendary voice of Buzz Lightyear in what many feel was a political decision, given Allen is a well-known Hollywood conservative. Disney then replaced Allen with actor Chris Evans, who is well known for voicing his opinions on social media against conservatives. They're trying to make all these excuses, right? But the reality is that people see that homosexuality, all right, is a crime not only against God, but against nature. And that is the reality of it. Okay? It is not natural for a man to kiss another man or a woman to kiss another woman. It is not natural for a man to put his male reproductive sex organ up another man's anus. I am just going to be very blunt here. It is not natural. Okay? Due to the fact also a host of diseases come from participating in that lifestyle. Next, Disney focused on all the marketing of the film on the fact that they had a same-sex kiss scene in a children's movie. That was the reason why it failed. The scene was originally cut out of the movie but was restored with radical left employees at Disney pressured the company to take a stance on the Florida's parental rights in education bill, which bans the teaching of sexuality and transgenderism to children between kindergarten and third grade. So now you have a bunch of people that you have a bunch of people you hired that basically you listened to them and they torpedoed your film. All right. The movie was then banned in China, Saudi Arabia, the United Emirates Union, Bahrain, Egypt, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Malaysia, and Indonesia. In response, Chris Evans called anyone who has a problem with the same-sex kiss as an idiot who will die off like the dinosaurs, indirectly slamming every Muslim in the Middle East. Yep. Yep. I mean, but hey, you hired somebody that was leftist, right? And you forgot that this was a kids movie, and you were trying. See, this is what they do. This is what they do. Sorry. They take things that are meant specifically for kids, and is for their market, their brand is children, and they try to take that and groom children with it, and this is the result. And Chris Evans is an actor, so he's only going to do what he's paid to do, and you know he's against conservatives, so he's going to speak anti-conservative talking points. This is what happens when you side with the alphabet. The real truth is those people are idiots. There are always going to be people who are afraid and unaware and trying to hold on to what was before. But those people die off like the dinosaurs, Evans said in an interview with Reuters. Can't blame Chris Evans. Okay. But, hey, this is what happens when people want to go against the God-ordered structure of what's laid down in the Bible. Okay. And it just is a reflection of Romans chapter 1. They did not like to retain God in their minds, so they built idols. They burned in lust. Men burned in lust for other men. Women burned in lust for other women. And this is what happened. And they received the due punishment for it. And this is a punishment, okay, for Disney. You just thought it was a great idea to not listen to your audience, which are the parents, and and cut out that scene and leave it out to make money. You decide to follow perversion, follow the 1% of the population, to put in that kiss scene, and it blew up in your face. I think the goal is to pay them no mind, march forward, and embrace the growth that makes us human, he added. Evans continued his frustration with those upset about the scene, citing that it bothers him that same-sex relationships are still a problem in the first place. It's tough not to be a little frustrated that it even has to be a topic of discussion. The goal is that we can get to a point where it is a norm, and that this doesn't have to be some uncharted waters, that eventually it's just the way it is. That representation across the board is how we make films. I wonder sometimes, I would wonder, if Chris Evans ever had kids, would he ever still hold that view? I wonder, would he ever still hold that view? I wonder, because I've seen him talk about this movie, and it just seems like he's just in it for the money. So I wonder what it would be like if he was to have kids, and would he change his mind? I wonder. I really do. In the face of the rising inflation driving up the cost of average goods and record gas prices, publicly slamming a potentially viewing audience and their families before the release of the film could not have been a smart strategy for Disney. But, Disney is not run by practical people. Aside from the fact that, Disney is really perverted and have been putting, sexually subliminal images in their cartoons and movies for years. They're not that smart. They're just out to corrupt people. Okay? And that's what's happening here. Living with the projections of Lightyear dropping every single day, the film has a long way to go before making any real money at the box office. And with the massive budget behind the film, it may end up worsening as perceptions decline at Disney's profitability, not to mention already soiled reputation. And I'm glad for that. I am glad. The reputations of you hiring pedophiles to work at Disneyland, and they're constantly getting caught. The fact that you've been putting sexually explicit subliminal images in your cartoons and movies for a long time. All right? And the fact that Walt Disney was a Freemason. Yeah. And I really hope that, Disney just crashes and burns. All right? For all the evil it has been spewing out for decades and years. All right? Ain't God good? That's all I got to say about this. Peace and God bless. Later. Like, share, comment, subscribe.